Okay, I wanted to show you some of the boards that I had cut. Got all my art on the table. I've been working on stuff. You can use this kind of Dremel tool to do like a circle cut, okay, and it spins around like a compass. I have a different brand, but I just bought this one. I'm going to try it with my Dremel tool. It does come with a bit. But here's some of the round ones I did with my jigsaw. So this is a board, and this was 7 3/4 inch. I did this, I meant to do it 8 inches, but my compass was off. No big deal. This is a board I just cut. This actually was some old barnwood that I sanded down. It was really dark when I had it, and it had some chips of old red and white paint. And the measurement isn't exact, but that's how big the piece of barnwood I had. And it's actually very velvety and soft, but I did triple prime it, and you can see some of the white primer here. I used a homemade gesso recipe for my priming. And so I have that. There's a round. This is a bigger round. I think I'm going to make this into a clock. I just did the varnish, and so this was 9.5 inches round. I started it July 9th, and I just varnished it the other day because I make them cure at least a month. So there's one that's going to be a clock. This is another round panel. This was on plywood. This wasn't MDF, but it's 8 inches round. Okay, did that May 2nd. This is a piece of scrap wood that I just cut. Got my hangers on here. Oops, oh darn it. And this was actually a wax artwork encaustic. I did triple prime that with encaustic gesso. And so here's one that is just primed. So I tape off the back. This is an 8-inch round. I put a piece of paper that was a piece of square paper, and then I taped the edges because my paper was square. So I just used painter's tape. That's 3/4 inch, I think. Let me look at this. No, actually this one's 1/2 inch. So I don't like to do my 1/2 inches too wide because they will kind of warp. But this is a very smooth MDF. This is a gesso I made off a YouTube video I had. This was painted, it cracked, so I'm gonna fill in the crack. But this one's 3/4 inch. I know this is 3/4 inch because it's heavy. So yeah, that's 3/4 inch. So I like this a lot. I just am sad that that happened. Here's a big one I did. This is, let me measure. Yeah, this is a 16-inch round. And I gessoed it with black gesso. I haven't painted this one yet, but it's got triple layer. And I did tape off the back, as you can see. That's what it looks like. And I just had some scrap, I was just sticking scrap tape on there. And then this was a piece of old barnwood. I have to rework this because my base paint cracked. So, all right, so let me go to the other stuff here. Here's another small round I did. This was 5-inch round, and this is wax gesso, and I did the shogi shoban burn technique on the sides, and then you can see there this was triple gessoed with acrylics or encaustic safe gesso, and then that's about 7 layers of wax on the top with some mixed media and some of the layers that are fused in between. This is a 1/2 inch piece of scrap board. This is MDF, and it's you can see the texture in the MDF. And I triple gessoed this in black gesso with a homemade recipe. It's just basically glue, marble dust, and what's the last ingredient? I can't think. All right, there's some scrap plywood, and it's about a 1/2 inch thick. And I just varnished that. This is a round I did. I'm sorry, I'm going for 4 minutes now. This is MDF. I just put varnish on this. I used that bright tone. This is my first run with bright tone. And so varnish. And this was bright tone. This was 6-inch wide. I just varnished that. So I like using the woods, and I just make them myself, and sometimes they turn out really beautiful, and I end up like really loving these, even though it wasn't a nice canvas like some of these other pieces here. So anyway, that's the long version of how I cut my own boards.